Well, hello and welcome to Sports by Compian. This may or may not be our first live episode. Nobody really knows. But the exciting part is that your host, Stephen Compian, is here to talk to you about Week 3 NFL football. It's exciting times. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to get the best content, or at least just someone who's going to yell at you about football content. And speaking of yelling, we have Brent from Yelling from the Couch rejoins the pod once more to share his football knowledge, wisdom, and a little bit of pain with us. Brent, how are you today?
Steven, it's nice to be on the show once again. I appreciate being back on here. It's always a good time on Sports by Compian, but man, I don't know about what that was on Sunday. So I really rather just not talk about it. But then again, once again, what would a podcast be if we didn't talk about it, right? So
rip off the Band-Aid, Brett. That's what we're going to do today for you. We're just going to go ahead and tear it right off. And make sure you guys are liking and subscribing because this could be a really long, painful Bengals season. And don't you want to go over there and watch Brett yell from his couch about how it's not fair? It's just not fair they took away Joe Burrow from you, Brett. It's not fair.
It's not fair at all, Steven. Not fair at all.
What a world. And you know what? We're going to hop right into it, as I mentioned. Bengals get absolutely handled by the Minnesota Vikings. Carson Wentz is just out there wheeling and dealing. The Vikings defense was on fire. There was like a first ever PFF rating of 99.9. What was that guy's name?
Isaiah Rodgers. How could I forget?
Isaiah Rodgers just had himself a game.
UMass Minuteman legend.
2 interceptions for Jake Browning. Tough day at the office. He couldn't really get anything going. Dude, but I see you see what's his name? Higgins dropping a pass in the end zone. And you gotta make these catches if you're a getting paid multi-million-dollar receiver. And Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, five receptions, 50 yards. This is just not enough. 65 yards out of these $2 million receivers. I don't know, Brett.
No, you're not getting a really good return on investment right there for sure with those two guys so far. I get it, Burrow's not out there, but still at the same time, like you said, drop pass in the end zone. You've got to bring that in, especially if you're making over $100 million, through your contract. You've got to be better than that.
Dude,
look at that
Brown.
Look at the
0.3. 0.3 average. I don't think I've seen that. Had a fumble as well. Rough day. So many fumbles. There was 5 fumbles. What is going on, Brett?
I don't know.
Ball security.
Too many fumbles. Isaiah Rodgers had an interception return for a touchdown, had a fumble return for a touchdown, forced 2 more fumbles. The perfect PFF. The other 5 players, have you seen the top 5 PFF ratings? It's Isaiah Rodgers, Matt Spieth, tight end from 2012. Everybody remembers Matt Spieth, right? Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Lamar Jackson, quarterback in 2019. Right. Andrew Whitworth when he played for the Bengals back in 2010, and Troy Reeder. So, who's who of names right there for PFF. Isaiah Rodgers tops them all.
Dude, 2 forced fumbles. Who is Isaiah Rodgers?
He was a backup on the Philadelphia Eagles last year, and they decided to come to Minnesota to be a starter, and whoa, man, what a game.
What a breakout game for him, indeed. Speaking of breakout games, Jordan Mason, right?
Yeah, Jordan Mason.
He came over from the 49ers. And maybe is he a dog? Is he a dog?
I think that was Aaron Jones that got hurt. I think that he may have lost his starting gig right there because Jordan Mason,
16 carries for 116 yards. Good day at the office for him, indeed. Carson Wentz does his thing. Protected the ball, which you don't see often from Carson Wentz. Only 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And good for Brosmer over here to get 2 completions in the NFL. Congratulations to that guy.
Yeah, Brosmer. Oh, nice, dude. Nice. Justin Jefferson, on 7 targets, he gets himself 75 yards. Hawkinson gets himself a touchdown. They're getting it done. They're getting it done, the Vikings.
Yeah, the worst loss in Bengals franchise history, 38 points, 48-10. And this Vikings defense is good, but I don't know if they're that good. That's the problem I have with this game.
So it could be a long season. You're liking and subscribing to Yelling from the Couch so we can slowly watch Brett suffer and have himself a terribly angry season. You're going to want to see this, people. Make sure you're liking and subscribing over there.
by the end of this, whether it's on this channel or whether it's on my channel, it's going to probably end up turning into group therapy for me with this Bengals seasons for sure. And I appreciate all you all let me lean on you all with this.
Absolutely. And speaking of leaning on things, our non-sponsor sponsor, 4Ocean, is a cleanup project to clean up the oceans. You know, they're out there doing the Lord's work, so make sure you guys are supporting them. It's 4Ocean. That's correct. The number 4 and then Ocean. Proud non-sponsor sponsor of Sports by Compian. Anyway, we're going to move on to a slightly happier game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers find a way once again, Brett, to stay alive, to go 3-0 for the first time since 2005. We had a pick six, first time since like 2018 or 19 or some shit like that. Now we've had one of those. Jamel Dean just reads a route beautifully, runs in front of Garrett Wilson, picks off Tyrod Taylor, takes it to the house. We had a lot of sacks on Tyrod Taylor. I think we ended with 4 or 5. And that was, we left another 4 or 5 on the table because Tyrod was just slipping through these, man. And this whole game should not have been so close. You know, maybe Todd Bowles gets a little conservative, but frankly, it was tough out there. We're out our guard. We're out both our tackles. You know, it's just, we are just trying our best to put together a makeshift offensive line. There was a lot of holding calls. This might be one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen. First 18 plays, I believe, Brett, there was 12 penalties. You know what I don't turn on the TV to watch, Brett? The referees.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone in their right mind is like, yes, cool, a flag that we get to see again. Dude, it was bad even for the Jets. It was like there was a couple calls on the Jets that are ticky-tack. I think they need to calm down and realize nobody cares about you guys. Nobody cares. Just don't even throw flags that often, guys. Don't throw 12 flags in 19 plays. Don't do that.
I should not know the referee's name by halftime, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, this game was wild, dude. You know, this looks like it was well in hand for the Bucs. You know, we're rolling at 20-6 at halftime, and then it just slowly starts to get a little crazy. Maybe that touchdown to Allen Lazard in the back of the end zone. A little sus. But my thing is, if you're going to give them that touchdown, you got to give them the Emeka Buka catch, which he had on the sideline there. Dude, shout out to his one-handed catch he had in the game. Emeka's just doing all he can. And is the only healthy wide receiver at this point for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because now Mike Evans has gone down with his annual hamstring injury. This is just an annual thing for him now. He wants to make it as hard as he can to get to the 1,000-yard mark, so he pulls his hamstring every single year like an absolute champion. And Sterling Shepard has stepped up into the gap and has been doing some good things for the Bucs. But we are receiver deprived. We are offensive line deprived. It's getting down to the bare bones out here, Brett. And we're just basically have to lob out short passes to Bucky Irving and have him break like 4 tackles is kind of our game plan right now because we can't block for Baker.
And so far, it's working, right? I mean,
it's working.
You know, it's working. You got the win. They give up a big 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter there. They were actually behind 27-26.
Yeah.
But the Jets made the critical mistake of leaving any time on the clock for Baker Mayfield to come down. You know,
guy just known as the comeback kid.
Yeah, he just makes plays. You know,
he's just starting to be known as the guy, dude. Comeback kid, indeed. He's been doing his thing. Bucky Irving got held up a little bit in the run game. He did have some good ones, but he was almost better when they threw him the ball out in the flats, like I was saying. I think Todd Bowles put it well. Anyone who saw that kick return, you know, the blocked field goal was just like, what the actual fuck is happening right now? This can't be real. Yeah. And that shit was wild. That was as wild as it gets. But as you mentioned, Brett, they left too much time on the clock, so we're able to sneak our way and put down, get back into field goal range. Money McLaughlin kicks it through. Bucs are 3-0, baby. Headed to now taking on Philly.
And what about like Baker after the game, like his press conference? He's like, there was a defensive coordinator for that team that cut me when I was in Carolina. So yeah, I had a little extra motivation. It's like, I love the pettiness.
I love that. Love that. Absolutely, Baker. Get yours. Show them who's boss. The Bucs survive, dude. We get back. Hopefully Tristan Wirth this week. Maybe Chris Godwin. Who knows? Defense wasn't terrible. Yaya Diaby is apparently leading the league in quarterback pressures. He finally got himself a sack. Definitely whiffed on contain multiple times against Tyrod. So if he could clean up, contain, and actually just get home on some of these, Brett, we could have himself as a really nice defensive end. Hassan Reddick playing very close to his birthday, had himself a decent day. Had one of those stops on the 4th down. I think the defense overall played really well. Was able to really rattle Tyrod. He didn't look very comfortable. Garrett Wilson hasn't had himself a decent day, but it's hard to shut down everyone all day. Bryce Hall was mostly shut down, right? Brees Hall. Brees Hall was definitely shut down. Yeah, no, he didn't do much. 20 yards on the day. Tyrod Taylor was their number 1 rusher with 48.
That tells you all you need to know right there.
Tells you all you need to know. It was a good day at the office for the defense. Do I want to see them get a little more pressure with just 4, of course, but they're still working on that. Hey, Jacob Parrish got himself his first NFL sack. Let's go, baby.
And Tyrod, give him credit coming out here, after getting, he had this Chargers starting job a few years back, and, when they stabbed him in the lung and kind of derailed his whole, career there for a little while.
He's the ultimate backup, Will. Let's be honest. He's the ultimate backup. He's been the backup for just about every team. I think the only person who's been around to more teams than him is Josh Johnson.
Yeah, Josh Johnson, who's still in the league, actually, which is very good for him.
Good for him, dude. Good for him. But anyway,
what about the creamsicle jerseys? The creamsicle jerseys.
We finally won with the creamsicle jerseys. It was a bit of a curse. We couldn't get it done. We almost whiffed it, but ultimately the Bucs rally. And our defense is firing up right now. We don't have Kalijah Kancey, so that's a little sad. But the boys are making up for him, and hopefully we can stay healthy. That's all I gotta say. Just stay fucking healthy, boys. Good Lord, enough injuries.
Yeah, and speaking of a team that can't stay healthy, we're going to talk about them here in just a second.
Oh, yeah.
The Niners. What about them?
Niners, man.
Every year they're injured.
So they win another game, but of course it has to cost them another one of their players, Brett. It's only fair. If you win, you die, apparently.
It's like selling your soul right here. It's like, okay, you can win a game, but we're taking one of your players.
Eventually they'll just run out of players, and that's when they start to lose.
Yeah.
So, are you impressed with Kyle Murray? I don't mean to be that guy because I have talked bad about him a lot throughout his career, but I am not bought in. Now, obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr., rough drop there in the middle, man. That drop was so bad. People are really starting to just throw him away now as a wide receiver. That's how bad that drop was. So, their offense just looks sad.
Yeah, so and with Marvin Harrison, I've been like, he's going to have a breakout performance. He's got all the potential in the world. He just hasn't done it yet.
No.
And with Kyler Murray, what I'm really impressed with with Kyler Murray is he's got that helmet that is like 10 times the size of his head, and he just looks like a toddler out there running around with that thing. It is hilarious.
Oh, also really sad. James Cook goes down in this game. I do have him on fantasy, the only fantasy football team. So I am very sad to see that James Cook, good touchdown score, kind of a heartbeat of this defense of that offense a little bit. He would be kind of their go-to guy. So
that's running back ankle injury, I believe, out for the season.
Yeah, dude, he dislocated it bad. Like the crowd was like, they didn't replay it on TV. Like it was that bad.
Yeah, I've seen some videos of it. It was not good. I don't like seeing those anyway. And you see one of them, it's like, that's just it's tough.
So it looks like they're going to T. Benson then. He's going to be the new fill-in running back. Marvin Harrison leads them with receptions. Trey McBride with the receptions, and Marvin with yards. So this game came down to the wire. You had Seattle. You had Kyle Murray. Did he got a touchdown there at the very end, or did he just lead it?
Well, there was so it was 13
right here. So it was touchdown, and then they had a safety.
A holding
safety for Seattle, for the 49ers, because then they were able to get into field goal range and ultimately win the game. But if you're the Cardinals, dude, you're going to wish that you hadn't punted the ball when they did so much, It was kind of a lot of punting going on for them at the end there. If they could have just got a couple more points, Brett.
Yeah, after they got that safety, if they could have done anything on that drive, they win the game. Instead, they punted over to San Francisco. McCorkle Jones gets the team down the field into range for Eddie Pinheiro, the new San Francisco 49ers kicker who took over for Jake Moody to come in and kick the game-winning field goal for the Niners as the clock expires.
Poetic. And Mac Jones, gets his second win now in a 49ers uniform. Now, was he super impressive? No, but did he get almost 300 yards and 1 touchdown? Yes, he did, Brett. And, he's throwing it to guys like Pascal. He's basically throwing it to McCaffrey. McCaffrey's the one who got that last little one to get them down into field goal range. Yeah. Caught a nice little pass, picked up like 10, 15 yards. Pretty much everything they needed. I thought they cut Kyle.
He caught the touchdown pass there for him that was pretty good.
He's back.
He's back.
Yeah. Frank Warner doing his usual thing, dude. You know what's really sad to see is Lavonte David's age. He did have 11 tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss, but he also left 2 or 3 sacks on the field. He's getting exposed in coverage. It's sad to see. Whereas Fred Warner is probably the new best linebacker in the NFL right now. Just doing his thing,
And Nick Bosa there with a forced fumble, and then also, of course, we found out what happened to him afterwards. Another torn ACL.
That's so sad. There's too many injuries this year.
There's
way too many injuries this year. It's absolutely out of control.
We both know firsthand there's too many injuries.
We really do. Wasn't it Buda Baker who got the safety?
Well, it was a hold on Calais Campbell in the end zone.
Oh, okay.
And right before that, Arizona had a ball.
Dude,
they were going to call intentional grounding on Kyler Murray, but they said that he was over the line, which was questionable at best, I would say.
I love that Calais Campbell's back with Arizona. That's awesome.
Yeah. Full circle moment right there, right?
For sure. Well, hey, the NFC West is just all kinds of competitive, man. As always, that division is freaking scary. But San Francisco sits ahead of it and 3-0, and everyone else is 2-1. Seattle looks good. The Rams look good. The Cardinals look bad.
The Rams blew a big one the other day.
They sure did, man. They had that lead for so long, but ultimately couldn't hang on. A.J. Brown finally wakes up. So, yeah.
Blocked field goals.
We'll see what – there was 4 blocked field goals, 2 returned for touchdowns. Wild. What a week.
Yeah. Jordan Davis out here running, 360 pound man running like, a wide receiver.
Setting records. Houston Texans are 0-3. Jaguars might actually be good. Indianapolis Colts are 3-0. What a world. What a world.
Panthers shut out the Falcons 30-0. I mean,
Chargers survived the Broncos.
Yeah. Yep. What a wild week. The Browns beat the Packers.
And Atlanta getting destroyed by Carolina. Yeah, the Browns beating the Packers. It's a crazy time in the NFL. We don't know what's going on yet.
I have no idea. I thought before this week started, I'm like, the Packers are probably going to be, Super Bowl contenders. And then they lose to the Browns. I'm like, maybe not so fast, my friend.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, that's all we got to say here from Sports by Compian. We hope you guys have enjoyed and are liking and subscribing our program. Make sure you're following Brett over at Yelling from the Couch. He's going to be doing a lot of yelling from the couch, if I had to guess, this season. But Sports by Compian fans, thank you so much for tuning in. Sports by Compian, we're out.
See ya.